I know you're just either finishing your lunch or about to grab some lunch. So here's some nuggets of wisdom that are going to be coming at you. I hope it doesn't disrupt what you already planned for your lunch. But if not, it might give you some insight of some better choices. And with me today is my friend Trisha Williams and Dr. Jack Mantione. And they are the co-founders of Daily Dose. And I got to spend a week with them in New York City at the Jumpstart Connect store. And their products are amazing. Their nutrition combinations are amazing. They've put so much thought and energy into creating what I'm going to share a lot more with you, but creating the combinations that are part of the Daily Dose supplements and food and drinks. And it is just incredible to fuel your body, fuel your mind, gain mental clarity, which I am all about, working smarter, not harder, and giving you the stamina to really be successful, because that's really what we all want to do, right? People just keep working harder and harder. And I always say to people, stop. First, fuel your body properly, and then all the other stuff is just so much easier. And so the Daily Dose is like my best friend in the sense that it offers all those nutrition combinations to do exactly what I'm saying about optimizing your physiological state, so you optimize your mental state, your creativity goes up, your ability to strategize goes up, your ability to communicate, connect, be passionate, excited. So without further ado, welcome Trisha and Dr. Jack.
Hi, Jen. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Jen.
So give us a little background. Each of you came from your own background and then came together to create this incredible strategy for everyone to optimize their well-being. So Trisha, if you want to tell us a little bit about Food Matters first, and maybe some of the things you were doing before that, and then we'll switch over to Jack.
Okay, so my background is I was an executive chef in New York City in the restaurant industry. I got pregnant with my first child, and it set me on the path of studying holistic nutrition. 9 years ago almost, I started Food Matters NYC. I was lucky enough to land Jimmy Fallon as my first client, and then spread through an incredible network of people. So what we do at Food Matters is we look at people's health history, their health goals, their food preferences, and we design food very specifically for the individual.
By the way, Jimmy Fallon as a first client, that's like a good breakthrough, right? That's a good confidence builder in your business. I want to make sure that I mention this to people as they're listening. You mentioned Jimmy, but you're also very humble, and you probably won't brag about yourself, so I will. A lot of their clients consist of high-level professional athletes, different celebrities that truly put priority in fueling their bodies properly. Same with the athletes and high-level executives. All of the people who understand optimize my physiological state, and then I'm going to get a lot more in my productivity and my mental clarity. So I just want to mention that, because people who prioritize it at the top of their well-being come to you for this.
That's right.
So Food Matters is how I got introduced to you. Food Matters NYC, if anyone's looking it up on social media, because it was a food delivery company that created very healthy foods that would come right to your doorstep, just kind of dummy proofing the whole thing, right?
Right. Absolutely. And then we have some hardcore food values we should talk about that we practice, both for Food Matters and Daily Dose. Mm-hmm. So we're 100% organic. All of the animal products are pasture-raised. All the seafood is wild. We don't use any gluten, dairy, or sugar, or refined grains. But within those parameters, we make some magic happen. We're still making things like chicken parm for clients and lasagna, stuff like that.
Yeah, so the quality, you're always looking for the quality and the right combinations to really optimize flavor as well as nutritional value. So I think one of the things that I really want to hit home on too is, and I've been eating this way for 20 years now, and in the beginning, 20 years ago, it was like you just had to eat the same plain bland chicken and you maybe combined it with like a baked potato or a yam. But the quality of these different products that you use have come so far. So your products taste amazing. So it doesn't feel like you're supplementing or sacrificing, I should say, taste for nutrition. And that's like amazing part too, because when everyone was in the store at Jumpstart Connect and we're eating the tacos that were in a cup, there's adorable little tacos in a cup, everybody kept going back for more and more. And that to me was a testament in and of itself.
Yeah, I think part of our mission, both at Food Matters and Daily Dose, is to make people fall in love with healthy eating. It doesn't have to be, like you said, plain chicken and kale and brown rice things to associate with healthy eating.
Right, exactly. And part of that culinary background for you is that the creativity of how to pull those things together to really add that extra pizzazz and flair that I don't really want to put that much energy to at my own home. So to have somebody that can do it for you just makes it so much better, especially when you're really busy. And there's different ingredients that you know of that I just maybe haven't ever been introduced to in my life. I would never think to mix in with my foods. And so to get exposure to all those different flavors and those ingredients that add to your health as well as to your flavor, I think is what's, really fun in getting to taste all the different products that you guys have made. So, I would love to share also Dr. Jack's background with people too, because he's coming from this energy space and true alignment of, the physiological body combined with the nutrition. So Dr. Jack, can you give us a little bit of a background to how you add a different perspective to this collaboration to make this incredible whole?
Well, I can tell you that it's changed my life. That's kind of how I started after we met. And having a busy sports energy rehabilitation and performance practice, I had challenges trying to get the right food, having to think about what I want to eat, have to order it, and then worrying about sourcing. Sourcing is huge, right? Mm-hmm. It's not always easy to get really good organic food in New York City. People think it is, but there's challenges. There's a lot of challenges actually, and it makes it easy for me. Made it so much easier for me to actually have all my food here at the office, my smoothies, my snacks, my performance bars, and not having to make the phone calls. So that's kind of how we got started. And
I'll tell you how we got started. Jack had his elbow deep in my hamstring and glute, and he said, "Do you want to make a bar?" And I'm like, "Make a bar? What do you mean?" And then we kind of just threw out all these ideas together and paired a lot of his use of supplementation and adaptogens with the food to make it the highest performing smoothies, bars, snacks, meals we could come up with.
All right. So that was the root cause.
That's
the condition. Yes, that was what happened. Yeah,
You just said something that I think I want to just hit home real quickly for everybody. You said adaptogens, and a lot of people might not know what that is and why that's important. So you just want to educate everyone a little bit real quickly on why adaptogens are in the food?
Yeah, adaptogens are an elite class of organic herbs that we use. And the whole key is that they help the body process stress. I would say majority of people in New York City are in a state of fight or flight. Mm-hmm. We know that the adrenal glands, those are the glands that sit above your kidneys. Their job is to process stress. Most people, they go, whether it's work stress, family stress, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, your body can only handle so much, right? So that by putting the adaptogens inside of the smoothies, the bars, the food, it's basically built in. So you're getting 2 in 1. So you're helping to process stress while you're eating, which is a huge, huge key for people. And in my business, what I do is, helping people perform, whether it's enhancing brain power, whether it's helping them perform better in baseball, basketball, running, football, golf, whatever it is, and then actually helping them heal from their injuries. Food is one of the biggest missing links to healing. Yeah. So when you're sourcing organically, so our food inherently is actually alkaline and anti-inflammatory because what Tricia said, we don't use any of the garbage. So I know that if patients and athletes come to me, they want the highest level care possible. So my job is to say, okay, you want the highest level? Food is medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Food is also prevention of injuries, and food is also healing.
Mm-hmm.
So I pride myself in educating them that they can heal in a third of the time or half the time in most cases just by introducing this type of food. And that's why we created this on-the-go affordable service, because to get this type of food in the restaurants, it's very expensive. So that was one of the big reasons why we put all this together and how we came together.
Yeah, the affordable part I think is really important for people too. I know even for me with juicing, to go get all the ingredients and then take the time to do it, I started to really kind of weigh it out between going to buy a juice that was already fresh pressed for me. And I realized that it was actually more affordable for me to go get the juice that was already juiced for me, because they were buying in a larger quantity, and they were sourcing from, a more reliable source. And the effort that was taking me to do the actual juicing and cleaning the juicer, which is, to be honest,
the cleanup's the worst part about it.
The worst. And people are like, oh my God, that juice is like $9 or $10. I'm like, what's funny? People go and spend $15 on a glass of wine and never think twice about it.
Right.
But then you'll question something that's giving you like massive energy and mental clarity, and your cells are just sucking it up. And so I want to also hit home on another point that you just made. A lot of people don't comprehend this. I don't know why it doesn't process for many people that food is the number one drug that we're putting in our body all day, every day, for us or against us. It's the number one drug. And most of it's causing inflammation. And, with what you were talking about, Dr. Jack, with what you're doing in your practice, so many people are coming in injured because they have so much inflammation in their bodies. And I know, with my boyfriend being a chiropractor, that we shared this common discussion where people come in, they say they want painkillers from him, and he'll go, no, you need to cut this stuff out of your diet and take these supplements to reduce swelling, and then you'll eradicate the pain. So can you dive in a little bit deeper here? Because I know a lot of people listening, have been brainwashed more in that diet mindset of, food makes me gain weight or lose weight. But most people don't realize food makes you gain energy or lose energy, gain inflammation and pain, or lose it. So can you just dive a little bit deeper in that? Because I really think that a lot of people find a lot of interest in that. And we can add in there some of the top things that you tell people to remove from their diets immediately, and some of the things that you say to add to their diets immediately to have an instant or a pretty instant sensation of relief and higher energy.
Well, I'd say, Tricia, why don't you add what we like to add in the diets? Because she's great at speaking on this as well.
Number one is to source local and organic and eat within the season. So your body connects more within the rhythm of the earth, and then it performs better. Sourcing pasture-raised animals, only eating wild fish have a significant impact on the body and how it performs. And then, we can both speak forever about the stuff you should take out, which is sugar and dairy, gluten, refined grains of any kind, really, people seem to struggle with.
Right. So that's all creating inflammation, like you're saying, Jen. So if we take it to a functional level, which is what you're asking me, right? So functionally, what people don't realize is that their gut is their second brain. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we were talking earlier when we at the expo about how Harvard had an article about something called nutritional psychiatry. So we're finding out now that eating clean obviously affects your stomach. It affects the healthy bacteria. So on the contrary, not eating clean is your stomach is obviously not working to 100% capacity. That is going to affect your brain, which is going to affect your energy, your memory, your cognition, your focus. Mm-hmm. And where it plays a role with what I do every day is that people don't realize that every muscle, so let's say you have back pain, let's say you have a hamstring strain, or your legs, your knees hurt. Common is knees and backs. Well, when you actually test a muscle to see if it's strong or weak, people think that muscle strength is actually muscle strength. It's not. It's neuromuscular strength. So what you do is you say, oh, wow, my knee hurts. Well, when I look at the body like a map, you have to read it like a map. When you know, okay, the knee hurts, which muscles are surrounding it? Those muscles are related to actually the nerve, the same nerves that innervate your gut. So when I find out, you start cleaning people's diets up, their muscles start to activate better. They contract better. Their pain decreases. We put people on these programs, I would say within 2 weeks of eating clean, their pain decreased by 50%.
Wow.
My clinical practice.
Yes.
That's just being conservative.
Right. Right.
Huge difference, even taking people off gluten. But your thighs, your knees, your legs, your back, all those muscles, so the nerves are the battery to the muscles. Well, a lot of those nerves are in your gut, right? So every muscle is related to a nerve, an organ, and a gland, emotions, and meridians. Mm-hmm. So you have to backtrack, and you can see, wow, if I eat healthy, I'm going to actually improve the function of my body, whether I'm at work all day, whether I'm a runner, whether I weight train, whether I do yoga, it doesn't matter what it is. Mm-hmm. So it's a very easy thing to do, just by eating, doing your best to eat a little cleaner every day. And you start small. You start little by little. You take something out one day, and this next week you take something else out, right? And then, or if you're ready, obviously, we have wonderful programs. Mm-hmm. So it's whatever people are ready for. But I think it's so important that people realize that the nerves are the battery to the muscles, the organs, the glands, and your brain. Mm-hmm. If you have a healthy gut, you have a healthy brain.
Yeah.
We always tell people that call in and ask about the food, I'm like, listen, if you input crap, you're going to output crap. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. Totally. Speaking of crap,
I knew you were going here.
Fun fact. I'll just keep it really simple.
You have to go here, though. I know.
And stinky. Okay. Americans eat the most food, and they poop the least. There's a problem there, right?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, and it's not healthy, and that's what people don't realize, that's like massive toxicity sitting in your body. And I luckily am not blushing as much during this part of the conversation as I would have about 2 years ago. But being that my boyfriend's half Thai, Asian people take great pleasure in these types of conversations because they take such great pride in their cleansing system and know the importance of it. So it's totally become more normal conversation in my life. But it's so true, and it's so toxic, and people don't realize that. And then they don't understand that they keep putting all this dead food into their body, which is not eliminating properly or fast enough for that matter. And then all these ailments and cancers start to evolve. And, I actually know somebody who was only eating dead food, like in the diet mindset of they were eating very lean, but everything was dead. And maybe like a banana in their diet was like the only real alive thing, so to speak. And they had skin cancer all the time, like different areas of skin cancer being removed. And I introduced, hey, if you just add a green juice to your diet every day, you will probably make a huge impact on your cellular rejuvenation. And ever since adding one green juice a day, they never had any more skin removed so far.
Amazing.
I think we have a question online from Rebecca.
We do. Yeah. Rebecca's been very engaged, and I want to make sure her questions get answered. So she has a couple. The first one's right up here about endurance training, and she struggles with how to maintain a diet over time. So there's two different parts of the question. First one is, for endurance training, do you use things like goo? So where's the glycogen solution that's healthy here?
We really advocate raw honey instead of goo.
Yeah. And there's this, you guys taught me something about the honey, is you really should be putting it under your tongue.
Yeah. It's a great secret weapon. I've been doing it for many, many years, and training with it and give you an instant boost of energy. It's also fantastic. It's an amazing antioxidant for you. And also another fun fact is if you have a cut, it actually can heal wounds. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. But it has to be raw. Yeah. Right. There's so many benefits to raw honey, but yeah, that's a better solution than if you don't, if you have an option of having the glue or the honey, I'd rather go with the honey. Yeah.
So, by the way, there are so many other benefits to raw honey. So let's just talk about a couple of the top ones, because I use it every day in my apple cider vinegar, because I can't do the apple cider vinegar alone. For 20 years I've tried and I can't. But I put the raw honey in it to make it a little bit more tolerable. But can you give a couple more benefits of raw honey? Because it really is a powerful everyday supplement to have in your home.
So, I mean, we have one fun use of it that we recommend to all of our Food Matters clients. So we feed a lot of hedge fund guys that by nature have to entertain a lot at night. So they're constantly out drinking, and then they can't get a good night's sleep because their blood sugar falls out of balance, and they end up waking up at 3 a.m. and can't get back to sleep. So we always recommend that they take a tablespoon of honey before they go to bed, and it keeps their blood sugar balanced, and they end up sleeping through the night.
So that's counterintuitive, right? If somebody's listening to that right now, I mean, it seems almost counterintuitive. How does that happen? Because of the complexity of the honey that stabilizes the blood sugar?
And the actual sugar content of the honey.
Yeah, okay. I don't know that. That's going to be a teaser for this, because when I write, how do you save yourself from having a bad hangover and not getting good rest, that catches people's attention.
Right. No, it's so simple, and it's such an effective tool. I have so many people that tell me how much I've impacted and changed their lives from a simple recommendation of honey at night. So
that's an incredible resource for people. Could you give just a few more too? Because I know you guys have it in little sticks that you use for your customers.
Going right there.
You gave it out to everyone at the store in New York around 3 o'clock. Everyone was hitting their low, so it gave them a little boost of natural energy.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's great for work too. When you need a little boost. Great for the brain. It gives you an immediate pickup. Immediate.
Hey, so I have a question that's a little bit off topic here, but not. Coconut oil. Something I have a spoonful of every day. And there's a debate of unrefined. And every day I go to buy it, not every day, but whenever I go to buy it, I stand there and I try to really decide, is there really a difference between refined or unrefined? And if I'm taking a spoonful in the middle of the day, I mean, it's still going to be a benefit, but do you guys have some feedback or thoughts to that?
I mean, with any ingredient, coconut oil or any kind of food product, I always recommend finding it as close to nature as possible. So the least processed it is, the better it is for you. The more your body knows how to break it down and process it.
Yeah, so unrefined.
Yeah, that's my answer.
Unrefined's the answer. How about the great debate about olive oil, not using it to get past a certain temperature, so not to cook with it.
Right. So olive oil becomes unstable at 180 degrees. So any type of oil that you cook with, once you see the oil start smoking, it means it's unstable. And all these free radicals can form in the oil, causing oxidative stress in the body. So I always recommend olive oil either for low heat cooking or just finishing food once it's cooked with a drizzle.
So a lot of people might not understand oxidative stress, and I want to hit on that for a second, because I had massive oxidative stress in my 20s from being a fitness competitor. And back then, antioxidants in a pill form were not really existent or just beginning. Massage would be another way to help have eliminated that, which I didn't do because I was 20-something new business owner and thought that was a luxury. Now it's my lifestyle. But oxidative stress, what a lot of people don't understand is it really contributes to rapid aging and a breakdown of your cellular rejuvenation. And there's a lot of foods that negatively impact, like you just mentioned with the oil, our bodies and creating this oxidative stress. So I know a lot of your foods naturally help break down that oxidative stress, what are some of the top foods to, obviously, we kind of address the ones that cause it, but what are some of the top foods that help with that oxidative, the elimination, the breakdown of the oxidative stress that you like to recommend and use in your daily dose programs?
So, I mean, in general, across the board, we like to keep all of our foods in an alkaline state, which it not only attacks oxidative stress, but prevents inflammation from occurring, inflammation being the precursor to all disease. Mm-hmm. So if we're using things that are naturally acid forming, like proteins or quinoa, we'll come up with different tricks in cooking these things to keep them in an alkaline state. So in our kitchen, we have a very sophisticated alkaline water system that we cook all of our not only our produce in, but things like quinoa. And then we have another little secret weapon that we cook with, which is called kombu, which is a mineral-rich sea vegetable. What that does, if you are going to eat grains and beans and stuff and you cook with it, it not only creates a more alkaline environment for these things to cook in, but it also makes them more digestible because of the mineral content.
Yeah, so how about ghee? Do you guys use ghee?
We don't use it in the kitchen because we're primarily dairy free, but I think ghee is really a lot more digestible by most people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was at a seminar this summer that they were talking about ghee, from a, I'm totally blanking on the name, but it'll come to me, but basically creating more stability in your body. So I started incorporating it in my diet more. I don't really use butter in general that often, so I wouldn't see a significant impact. But if people did use butter on a regular basis, it was something that I learned just this summer as an alternative. I want to go back to the pH for a second, because this is something I also learned about 20 years ago, and I feel like people are just starting to talk about it, like on a regular now. And we probably could have saved a lot of cancer development if we had talked about it sooner.
Right.
One of the biggest tricks that I use, and you're going to probably have a lot more, but one of the biggest tricks that I use is using lemon in my water on a daily basis, which sounds, again, so counterintuitive. Most people think lemon is acidic, right. But when used in your water, it actually creates a change in pH in your body. You can actually often feel it in your mouth. If your pH is too acidic, and then you start drinking the lemon water, it's like the texture almost changes within your mouth. And for me, that's when I can tell my pH is really off.
Right.
And that awareness really should be so important to people. So can you just talk a little bit more about pH for people and why staying in alkaline is so important, and just a couple other like lemon tricks that you can just incorporate in your daily life that just keeps you in a more stable environment?
Yeah.
So besides lemon juice, let me see. There's so many tricks. It's you're saying in the beginning, green juices, right?
Yeah, that's my go-to.
Trisha does that all the time. She does a green juice, and she said she can immediately feel her body shifting immediately into.
Yeah, I feel like there's a needle that goes, and I just go alkaline as soon as I have a green drink. It's pretty powerful stuff.
I always say my cells are like this. When I drink a green juice, I can almost feel my cells like sucking.
People don't realize that your blood actually is naturally alkaline.
Yeah.
That's where the association is. So just like we cook food that's closest to its most natural properties, you want to eat the way, or you want to eat in that state where your blood is in the most natural state, right? Which is slightly alkaline. Mm-hmm. And it's, like you said, inflammation leads to dis-ease, as I'll say, instead of disease, it's dis-ease in the body, right? And all the free radicals, or the antioxidants, which are free radicals, which are byproducts of stress and overdoing exercise and not being able to repair, all those things, they all lead to injuries and pain and conditions, and they're major contributing factors. So it's one of the most important topics and important things that people need to really dive into and take charge of their life. They need to start, we all need to be a bit more selfish. Many of us are nurturers, and we're always taking care of other people.
Yeah.
And you can't take care of other people unless you can really help yourself and, get yourself in a better state of mind, better state physically, mentally. We're all guilty of of helping others before ourselves. And I think there's a new consciousness out there where we need to look inside ourselves and look in the mirror and say, am I bringing my A game? Or, and if I'm not, how do I get, if I feel like I'm a D or a C, how do I get to the next letter? And just do it gradually and start slowly introducing these things that we've talked about today. And you'll start to see differences, and not even physically, but mentally, in the way you feel and the way you think.
Hey, Jen, I'll tell you a really powerful personal experience that I've had with just looking at pH in the body. So 15 years ago, my dad was diagnosed with cancer, with multiple myeloma. He was given 5 years to live. Irish guy, Irish American, meat and potatoes eater, didn't work out. He made a radical diet change, primarily plant-based diet, started going to the gym. 15 years later, he's still alive, living with his cancer.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Really amazing. I believe we can reverse cancer. I believe we can reverse other diseases. I know that I had developed during that time period of my oxidative stress, started to basically attack my body, attacked itself. My kidneys, liver, heart all started having different irregularities and issues. And my adrenals, talked about adrenals earlier, were completely shot. And I developed Hashimoto's disease, which for those who don't know is a thyroid disorder. And I reversed it, completely reversed it. And I said to my doctor, I'm going to get off this medication. And she told me I was absolutely crazy and that would be really irresponsible. And I did it over time through how I was eating and also how I was being emotionally, right? So many of our physical ailments are emotional ailments, going into what you said earlier, dis-ease. And so I reversed the damage. And when I finally told her I was going to get blood tests once a month, and for 1 year I stopped taking the medication and my blood tests kept coming back normal. And I finally said to her, I haven't been taking this medication for a year. And she said, that's impossible. And I said, no, it's completely possible. I haven't. And I said, and I can tell you how, so you can tell your patients how. And she said, that would also be really irresponsible for me to do. And I said, I feel like it's really irresponsible to not give them the option of how to do it. And, a huge part was, the green juices was one of the first things that I did, just adding into my diet. And also, from outside of the diet, just doing more breathing techniques and yoga and meditation and comprehensively, holistically healing my well-being. Which I know you guys also really do incorporate into what you're teaching your clients as well. A couple things I want to answer because we have a lot of people engaging with us. There's been a few people asked where they get the honey sticks, and they can get it online from you, can't they?
Soon they'll be available online from us, but for now I always encourage people to source local honey from farms in their area if that's a possibility.
Cool. Thank you. And then also Rebecca had asked what the big three pro-inflammatory food items to cut out, which I think we talked were refined carbs, sugar is like number one, right?
Right.
And there was one other thing that you had said that I'm forgetting right now.
Gluten, sugar.
Gluten, yeah. There's an awesome book for everyone. It's called Grain Brain. If you want to know what gluten does to your body and the fact that it's kind of put in almost everything anymore. That's
a David Perlmutter book.
What's that?
That's a David Perlmutter book. Yeah, it's a good book.
It's a great book. The greatest thing for me when I was reading it is I realized I hate mental mush. The mental mush moments where you're sitting behind your computer and you're like, I know I'm supposed to do something, but I can't get my brain working right now. And to me, it's so frustrating. And when I read that book, I was like, that explains the mental mush that is happening, not just for me, but all our society. And if we really look at all these ADD and ADH labeling issues, if we would just take the gluten and sugar out of these kids' diets, most of them would be performing at a whole different level, and they don't need the medications, which, you know, we all know about. So the book is incredible for those who want to understand a little bit more, like why a gluten-free diet is not a bad thing to invest in at all. Also, Drea just asked the best combo for green juice. I know for me, my green juice has kale, cucumber, green apple to sweeten it up a little bit, spinach. What else is in your green juices?
If you're into bitters, putting in dandelion greens and collards are really good. They take some getting used to, but they're really powerful.
Rebecca said she thinks she has grain brain right now. And now she knows what to remove from her diet in order to perform at a higher level. And so the collards you talked about is also a very powerful food. How do you use, what are some of your suggestions in just cooking or eating collards in your life? And because I know it's something that is bitter, but really a powerful food.
So I love to use collards as a bread substitute. So what we'll do in the kitchen is we'll remove the thick stem from the collard and then blanch them in boiling salt water and then shock them in ice water and then kind of use them as a wrap. So replace whatever your lunchtime sandwich would be with a collard wrap. Okay,
that's great. Thank you for that. Wheatgrass is great too, Eileen said, which, yes, I love it, doing a shot of wheatgrass on a regular basis as well. You know, I know we're getting into like cold and flu season, and when I ever feel like I'm getting run down, the first thing I do to prevent getting sick, because I got sick one time probably in the last few years, maybe longer, and it was when I was on my way, I was getting sick on a flight to Thailand, and I feel like that's the only time I really get challenged, when you're in those long flights and you're getting out of time zones and in different viruses that your body's not used to. And I immediately douse my body in supplements and massages. And I thought it in 24 hours, I was really, I never fully got sick. But I want to share with people some things during this season to keep them. The second you're feeling getting sick, you know, for me, I always get a massage and reflexology. And then I always amp up my vitamin C. I remove, I'm typically not in my diet, but I remove anything that would be deteriorating to my immune system, which is obviously sugar and refined grains and gluten. So what are a couple of other things you can suggest? I know someone just wrote turmeric, which is also awesome. Couple things that
we encourage a lot of white foods to protect the immune system, so not Wonder Bread. Things like onions, garlic, white cabbage, anything that's white that's grown in nature, it's naturally good to boost and protect the immune system. We also do a lot of foods and broth that are infused with thyme, which is really powerful. For clients who are getting sick, we'll make shots for them out of oil of oregano, ginger juice, and cayenne, and also encourage thyme in the sauna if that's available to kind of just flush the system out.
Yeah, I go into my juice bar right down the street, and I do what they have is a shot very similar with the cayenne in it. Whew.
Yeah.
It's great though, because it prevents it. It just stops. I mean, how much hours? I don't have time to be sick, right? I don't have the energy I don't want to give the energy to be sick. So if we can use these things to prevent it before we actually get there, if you feel it coming on, like, you can stop it before it really sets fully in. And somebody asked about Manuka honey.
So that is the most healing of all honeys and really the most delicious, but also the most expensive. So the bees that make Manuka honey pollinate eucalyptus plants. So it has a really strong eucalyptic essence to it, and it's really delicious.
Really? So it has like a minty almost?
Almost, yep.
Yeah, interesting. I never had it, but I'm definitely going to put it on my list of things to try. Speaking of eucalyptus, are there any type of menthol things at this time of year that you add into your foods?
We do a lot of mint infused stuff with just local mints and stuff.
Mm-hmm. All the time.
All the time, yeah. I mean, and definitely, I mean, herbs this time of year are really powerful. So we'll bone broth people, we'll do beef, chicken, even for some clients, we'll do fish bone broth, and then we'll infuse it with things like thyme, oregano, lemongrass, ginger, lots of garlic. You know, it's just like the wisdom of our great grandparents. It's all kind of evolving over again.
I know, it's great, isn't it? Because it's like that the oath for doctors was really based on, you know, garlic and onion and all the things that naturally heals your body. And we've come so far from that. And my daughter, who had Lyme disease, in order to heal that, put her in remission of that, bone broth was one of the top things, as well as oregano oil and obviously probiotic.
Right.
We didn't talk about probiotics much here. We talked about gut health. Can you guys just dive into the critical importance of probiotics and also natural probiotics? Like, I drink pickle juice all the time. Like every day I drink pickle juice. Can you just touch on that for a minute? Because I think it's really important, especially at this time of year too.
Yeah, there's studies out there about probiotics, which are the healthy bacteria that we can either get in supplement form. You can get it through fermented foods, right? Mm-hmm. And what we touched on before is having a healthy gut requires healthy bacteria. So a lot of our diets, the sugar and all the refined grains, they create an imbalance in the stomach and the gut. Mm-hmm. And then we lose that alkaline state in the body. The people don't realize also the stomach is actually highly acidic. A lot of people aren't digesting their food. Mm-hmm. So when you're eating the foods that aren't as good for you, aren't as clean, you're going to actually destroy your healthy bacteria, right? Mm-hmm. Probiotics also have, there's studies showing that it can help with weight loss, right? Yep. So we know that if we keep a healthy gut, that gut is the mecca. It's the mecca for the whole body, for the nerves, for the brain. Yep.
You know, my daughter was really upset when we realized she had Lyme disease, and basically her entire life had to revolve around eating and living to support her gut and immune system. And she got a little frustrated at first because she felt like her friends didn't have to think that much and they could eat whatever they wanted. And I said to her, I go, this is the most valuable life lessons that if everyone knew to eat to sustain the health of their guts and the strength of their immune system, I mean, we wouldn't have $1 trillion medical world at all, because people would be so much healthier. And so, you know, what Daily Dose does, and why I love this, is you're making living to support a healthy gut and strong immune system easier for people that might not know all the science and information. I know a lot of people are excited learning it now for the first time, and they're commenting on it. But you're making it easy for people that if you don't know it, just no matter what you're choosing from Daily Dose, you're getting all of those things that you need and more. So I want to be respectful of your time. But before we go, can you just, everyone wants to know where they can find you, how they can learn more, and, you know, tell us, you know, some of your programs. I know you have food delivered to you every day, exactly lined up the way it needs to be. So can you just give us a little insight, even if people live not in New York, how they can benefit from Daily Dose?
Okay, so you can find us online at dailydoselife.com. In the next 2 weeks, you'll be seeing our products in various stores in Manhattan. We're going into a chain called Pure Green, which has 5 stores and growing. Well, you can see a lot of Daily Dose meals, bars, things like that. We have 4 programs that we're currently offering online.
So we have a skinny program, which is one of probably the most popular. Right? We have a beast program for those high-level athletes or CrossFitters or people wanting to put on muscle or maintain the body that they built. We have a pre- and postnatal program as well. And we have an office fuel program, which is a little bit different than the other 3 programs. The other 3 programs, you get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The office fuel, you get a smoothie, you get a organic chef prepared lunch, and you also get a bar, performance bar. And you also asked is how can you learn more? So we're posting quite a bit now, and we're trying to not only post the amazing food that is made, but also interesting information and how to learn about adaptogens and how to fight stress naturally and things about the nervous system, the guts. We're both putting our heads together trying to come up with some really good information, very simple and practical that people can use every day. And you want to give them the address for the, what is it? Living Daily Dose.
Oh, so our social handles at Living Daily Dose.
Yeah, at
and that's all of them. Living Daily Dose, right?
Yeah.
I would love to have you guys come to Philly and do a little workshop talk in the near future. And some other cities, I know people on here would love to see you too. Because while a lot of diet information has been around, this type of information is really just surfacing, and I know people are really hungry for it, but it can be overwhelming. And so to get all this new information, I think creates the value for people to invest in themselves differently, and prioritize what their choices around food are differently. And then also, but you're creating the actual program for it to support people. And I think that takes the stress out of, oh my gosh, all these things I just learned, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to add, and it's already done for them through you guys. So that's really amazing as well. So, like they said, you can follow them on social, Living Daily Dose?
Correct.
Living Daily Dose?
The website's dailydoselife.com. And there's blogs on there. That's where we present some of the information, the articles where they can learn more as well.
Great. Well, we are so grateful for your time because I could talk about this stuff literally all day. I have like 50 more things. I'm sorry?
It's so beautiful when you're passionate about what you do. You really want to help people change their lives, and that's what you can just talk forever on it. So it's a pleasure.
People forget without your health, there's nothing, right? And but it should be something we're all passionate about. I mean, our health should be our top priority because it's the foundation of everything else. And without it, there's really nothing. So I would like to live as free radical as possible. For as long as possible. So thank you so much again for your time. Make sure you follow these guys. Go to their website. You can learn about their different programs and engage with them and keep learning and make sure that you're all making your health your top priority. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Bye.